Well, the Biden administration is planning to divert air marshals and send them to the border to deal with the migrant crisis. But Republicans are sounding the alarm. Here now is the congressman leading the charge, Republican Mike Carey of Ohio. Congressman, good to see you. Okay, this sounds on its face crazy to me. You're going to take air marshals out of the sky in the busiest travel season that we have and send them to the border into what looks like a problem that requires much more than air marshals. Please explain this to me.
Well, that's really what my letter to Mayorkas is about. Please explain it to us. I mean, we are right now have about 2.9 million people that travel every day. And, you know, you've seen numbers that say we have about 3,000 air marshals. And if you talk to the associations, they say it's down to about 1,800 air marshals that are on our domestic flights. So, I mean, what are we going to do with those people down at the border? I mean, you had the video of people crossing the border with Title 42 ending. Sending air marshals down to do that job is simply not the right thing.
Well, particularly in this season where I think they're needed in the air. I mean, that's why we have them in that job. But let me ask you about, you saw Bill Malusian's report there, and you see the volume of border crossing. You see the Mexican police escorting these caravans. You see the lines out of tents. The infrastructure is breaking down. How much worse do you think that's going to get when Title 42 actually expires?
Well, I mean, again, Title 42 expiring, and they want to send air marshals to do a job, and they also want to hire 87,000 IRS agents. I mean, their idea of securing the border is simply just not, it's not in the right direction what this country needs. And I think, you know, the president needs to go down to the border. I've been down to the border. You know, our border security agents do a very good job, but unfortunately with this administration, they're focused mainly to be, you know, folks that are processing these people as they cross the border. So we really need to step up, do a better job, and sending air marshals down at a time during the holidays is simply not the right answer.
If you're getting Mexican officials, just to be clear, you're getting Mexican officials accompanying caravans to the border. Okay, that's a political issue at the highest level in Mexico, which means it's got to be a political issue at the highest level in the United States. Can that be the impetus for increased pressure on the president to say, look, your counterpart in Mexico is facilitating this. What are you going to do about it, Mr. President?
I think you're exactly right with that. And I think the other thing, once you go down to the border and you talk to these border security agents, they're very clear with you. You know, every single person that's crossing the border has been touched in some way or another by the cartels. And whether it's $4,000 or $8,000, these cartels are making billions off of human trafficking. And what do? They dial it up. They know that our border security agents have to go and process these people within 24 hours. And then they bring the fentanyl and the other drugs across the border. This is a major problem. And again, this administration and Secretary Mayorkas' idea to secure the border is somehow send a few hundred, air marshals down to the border. It's simply the wrong idea.
Well, and they're asking, apparently, the administration's asking for $3 billion to try to address the problem. But you think about that for a second. It doesn't really matter how many billions of dollars you send to the border if you're funneling it into policy that doesn't work. Doesn't the policy have to change before the money situation can be any help?
Well, absolutely, but ending Title 42 is not the answer. And again, I think this administration's focus is all wrong. I think the president needs to go down to the border. I mean, again, myself and many of my colleagues have been there multiple times. We've seen the travesty that's going on. But to blindly throw money at a problem is not the answer. We know how to fix it. We need to finish the wall. We need our border security agents to do exactly that. They need to guard the border and not just be processing agents, because that's what we're doing right now.
What can voters expect to see from Republicans when they take the House in the new year? What's job number one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think, Kevin McCarthy, who will be our speaker on January 3rd, and I'm excited about that. I mean, he's made it very clear that Congress is going to live by the same rules as the American public, which means we're going to actually have to show up to vote, because many of the Democrats haven't done that. We're going to end the 87,000 IRS agents that the Democrats wanted to put forward. And I think, what he has done, he's laid out a very good plan that we're going to have oversight on what the administration has done over the last few years. So I'm excited about it. I think he's put together a great leadership team, and I'm looking forward to working on behalf of the Commitment to America, which he's leading the charge on. It's going to be a great day in America once we get this thing started.
Congressman, we look forward to seeing what you get up to. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you. All right.